All right, in this lesson, we're going to be writing equations given 2 points, 2 coordinates. So to write a linear equation in slope-intercept form, you need to identify first what the slope of the line is that passes through those 2 points. And then you're going to plug in the x and y coordinate of one of those points. We're going to use the first coordinate and plug that x and y coordinate and the slope that we just calculated in for x, y, and m to solve for b. Again, to determine the slope, we're going to plug in the x and the y-intercepts into the slope formula. And then to determine the y-intercept, which is b, we're going to plug the x, the y, and the slope into the slope-intercept form of a linear equation and solve for b. In this example, we're given these 2 points. So we're going to plug it into the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we get negative 10 over 1, which gives us a slope of negative 10. And this is the slope-intercept form of a linear equation. We're going to go ahead and use that first coordinate. So the y coordinate of that point that we have indicated is 5. The slope is negative 10, so we plug in negative 10 for m. And the x coordinate of the point that we're using is negative 3, so we plug that in for x. And then solve for b. Negative 10 times negative 3 is 30. Subtract 30 from both sides, and we get b equals negative 25. And now we just need to take that slope that we calculated and the b and plug it into the slope-intercept form. So that's going to give us y equals negative 10x minus 25. Next example. The slope, use the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and we get a slope of negative 5 over 3. Again, we're going to choose one of those coordinates. I'm going to go ahead and just choose the first coordinate. The y coordinate of that point is 4. The slope that we just calculated is negative 5/3. And the x coordinate of the point that we chose is 2. So we plug all those values into the slope-intercept form of a linear equation and solve for b. We've got a fraction, so the LCD is 3. Multiply everything by 3 to clear that fraction, and we get 12 equals. The 3's cancel. Negative 5 times 2 plus 3b. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Add 10 to both sides, and we get 22 equals 3b. Divide both sides by 3. We get b equals 22 over 3. Plug in the slope that we calculated and the y-intercept that we just calculated, and we get y equals negative 5 over 3x plus 22 over 3. Next, plug those 2 coordinates. Actually, you should see that the x coordinates are the same. These 2 x coordinates are the same. Since the x coordinates are the same, that indicates that this is a vertical line. And remember, vertical lines are always x equals whatever point the vertical line crosses the x-axis. In this case, since we're just given the coordinates, it's if the x coordinates are the same, that is what x is going to equal. X equals 2. Next example. Calculate the slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we get 4 over 2, or 2. And then plug the x and y coordinate of one of the points into the slope-intercept form. I'm going to go ahead and use the second coordinate for this one. The y coordinate of that point is 0. The slope that we calculated is 2. And the x coordinate of the point that we indicated is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract 4 from both sides, and we get b equals negative 4. Plug in the slope that we calculated as well as the y-intercept, and we get y equals negative 2x minus 4. And last example, you should see that the y coordinates are the same for these two. Since the y coordinates are the same, that indicates that this is a horizontal line. All horizontal lines, the equations are y equals, and it's just going to be the y equals whatever the y coordinate is for both of these points. Since they're both 4, our equation is y equals 4.